Hello, hello. So it's me again, back for episode 16 of our 100-day challenge. I'm doing one more episode today in the Brookline Public Library because I have this room booked for 2 hours and I want to make the most of it. And I'm feeling a lot of enthusiasm. Um, I may also slightly be procrastinating working on my book because I'm like that sometimes. Um, But yeah, so I think we'll do another 500. I think I'm gonna do 512 words. We're gonna get to 14,600 words. Um, Before we start writing, let's take a second and like think about what I want to accomplish with the rest of this sort of vignette. Because every vignette should be like sort of accomplishing two things. Like I kind of want this vignette. Like, so every vignette has to accomplish two things. One is to be the micro thing, so the little like human level plot that's just like, the personal drama, like the pregnancy, all these things. And it has to accomplish kind of the macro level thing, like the actual global level plot of the whole story, right? Um, and from a micro level, I think I know exactly what I want to accomplish. I really want Robbie and Pat to get like a feeling of increased intimacy in the sense of like I really want to end with something about that way like Robbie's sexuality comes into play, his crush on Pat kind of comes into play. There's a reciprocation, um, but there's still right? Like all these plots, right? Like I'm sort of thinking like there's also kind of like a global theme of this, right? And this is going to come out in later edits probably, and it's going to take shape more and more. But there's something about the conceit itself that I wasn't thinking about, right? Like this right here, this thing where nobody's like met each other before, right? I'm really interested in the idea of alienation. And I'm interested in how this situation overcomes alienation. So I want to jump into this doc for a moment. So like a lot of thematic, at least the way that I write, you communicate a lot of themes through the mutations of language, right? And I haven't really done that yet because I hadn't thought about like the theme of this until now. Up until now, for me, like kind of the fun of the story has just been there in space, and it's like that's what it is. It's just like this weird thing that happened, and whoa, it's so crazy, right? Like, and I guess like I hadn't thought as much about how would I put it? about like what that actually means. There's also like I want to not quite yet, but like start to get to a feeling of closeness. But for this to work, I really need there's to feel more alienated from each other and from the world at the start of this, right? So at some point, go back and add a lot more discomfort. Assuming that I stick with that, like it's almost like this idea that they become a village, so to speak, right? Like they kind of go back to this like they become a community in a way that they weren't before, right? And all these people like get to know each other, and when they somehow finally make their way back to Earth, which I almost imagine like they'll make their way back and like it'll be one of those it was all a dream things or like whatever. And like they won't even tell other people that it happened. They'll just sort of like keep living where they were living, but everyone's like so much closer and more like almost as if like is there a literal alien plot to make this happen and to save humanity by recreating the villages? The modern capitalist nightmare hellscape. Well, this is, I mean, this kind of theming is very fun. Um, so yeah, I'll definitely lean into that. It's again, it's about language. For instance, like the way that Marco and Pat, sorry, no, Marco and Robbie are allowed to touch each other or not is like an example of this, right? I think everyone needs to have like some specific to have their own specific alienating like figment to overcome touching, right? Like it's one of those things. Um, I don't know, is there anything else that I want to say about like the theming yet? I mean, like it's yeah, it's gonna be, I think as this continues, because like a lot of the themes as they develop, I am gonna have to do another editing pass where I kind of go back. I'm not gonna do it right now because I just want to plug ahead, but I'm gonna have to at some point go back and continue to flesh out um these themes and kind of redo a lot of stuff around that idea. But let's zippity doo dah back into the actual doc and continue this. Sorry for like the big digression. So I've got this room for another 33 minutes. That should be enough if I keep it. Oh, I just hit my knee on the bottom of the table. Ouch. So we're aiming for 14,600. Let's make it happen. Do we have anything about like what his job is? What would be helpful for him to have as a job, actually? Oh my goodness. What if he is, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to go back and edit for that probably, because that's something I want to be suffused throughout, but still like invisible until, you know, with like I'm going to do another like I wanted to say I'm not an idiot. Say this. Need one more filter journal or Locket. Locket is too much, I think. I love those little like it's kind of a little like trick of writing. I don't know how to explain it. Grab the way I want to like double the way that men are allowed to touch, right? Because like that's becoming thematic. Oh, but anyways, I was saying like I also need to figure out not in this exact moment, like when this vignette ends, what is the macro plot process that I want to push forwards? Um, and I was thinking, I got distracted by the themes. That's why I was thinking it would either be like because I've got two things we could maybe look at. One of them is the meeting, and one of them is staring because in the parking lot is where like the I don't know if they're rocket engines, but there's something crazy like over the edge of the parking lot. You peer down, you see like the alien technology, right? That they've, you know. So probably, I think it's more likely that because they're standing near the parking lot already, and I think what they would do is like they would see the more and more people come to like view what they've seen, what they've discovered, and in the course of that discovery, there's enough people to like put together a meeting and formally that's how you move it along. Okay, so it ends with them like scoping out the alien technology. Scrollio, where is this? It's near the top. We can cut it off there, I think. Probably the key to getting back more than the key of getting back. Yeah, I agree with Google Docs on this one. But there we go. That's a good place to round it out. All right. Man, this is getting kind of fun. We're getting somewhere with this. Whenever you get into the themes, that's when the momentum really starts to build. Well, thank you so much, though, either way, for tuning in. We're gonna keep up the momentum tomorrow. This is we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Thank you for watching episode 16.